This next story may come as a surprise, or at least I found it surprising. The country where businesses are most likely to accept a bribe, Malaysia. Joining me now, reporter Sam Holmes from Singapore. Okay, Sam, quite frankly, we don't hear about bribery as much in Malaysia as we do in places like India or China. So what did this survey find?
This is a survey of 30 countries carried out by Transparency International, and perhaps most pointedly, Malaysia came out worst in a question that related to whether businesses there or individuals feel that they have lost business to competitors as a result of the competitor paying a bribe. And they found 50% of respondents feel that they have lost business because of this, which basically makes it, according to perceptions, a worse country than places like India, Egypt, Morocco, Senegal, China, and even Indonesia, nearby Indonesia, which doesn't have a fantastic reputation when it comes to clean business or corruption.
Okay, and about a decade or so ago, Malaysian business was really dominated by a handful of families. Is it still the case today?
It's diversified somewhat over that time, but there is still very much, by the structure of the economy and some of the policies that are still in place, there is still a large concentration of business held by a relatively small number of players. Policies introduced this year and last year are trying to open up to a broader range of investors, but there's still a perception that business follows traditional kampong lines or local village lines sometimes, and trying to do business there can be quite difficult for people who are not inside that system.
Okay, and Malaysia did introduce an anti-corruption campaign recently. What has the government done to try to cut back on corruption?
One of the biggest things introduced after Prime Minister Najib came to power about 3 years ago was a special court that would hear complaints about corruption. But if you look at the reports, there have been probably hundreds of cases that have been heard, and so this is seen broadly as a sign of progress in the country. That things are getting better there. Obviously, though, people still feel, perhaps more so in the country than outside the country, that it's still quite difficult to do business or to do clean business there.
Okay, and definitely not a vote of confidence for the government, judging by this survey. Thanks very much, Sam Holmes, joining us from Singapore.